Well, they've done a U-turn to make it all harder for us. Thanks a lot. Let's begin. Now, of course, I don't know if it's just me, but it's often seeming nowadays that governments, especially Labour, say one thing to get into office and do something completely different when they get in there. Let's face it, Labour not only have been doing their very best, it seems, to pee off the entire country to make sure they'll never get in again, but now they've done something even worse to cement that idea in our heads. So what am I going on about then? Well, according to this article, it says that Labour MPs revolt against their own promise. And that promise is to cut energy bills by £300. Well, there's no surprise there, is there? I mean, it just seems they'll do anything to make it harder for us. And I, for one, think that their mask is not only slipping, but actually it's kind of fell off, and Keir Starmer has taken a massive dump on it. But anyway, it says that Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer, no sir in my opinion, Chancellor Rachel Reeves, Energy Secretary Ed Miliband and several cabinet ministers have said that creating Great British Energy would help cut household bills by £300 by 2030, but Labour MPs voted to reject an amendment that would make making reducing household bills by £300 a priority. Then of course they, who knows, might even want a few more freebies before such a pledge is put into place, eh? Claire Cothrino, if we pronounced that right, the Shadow Secretary for the State and Net Zero, said Ed Miliband promised time and time again that Great British Energy would cut bills by £300, and that's very true, he didn't. Now he's ordered for his Labour MPs to vote against the Conservative amendment that would hold them to their word. Let's face it, Labour, it seems, never really like to be nailed down on the details, do they? They seem to come out with all these wonderful policies, but never, it appears, actually do the maths for it. Unless, I don't know, maybe Diana Abbott does the maths for them, eh? Anyway, he continues and says this is because he knows that far from cutting bills, his reckless plans for energy are going to put people's bills up and lead to mass deindustrialization of Britain. The public are right to wonder if anything Labour said is true in the general election. Well, yeah, I think we've actually got the answer to that. The Conservatives wanted to ensure Labour stuck to their promise to cut energy bills and tabled an amendment to the Great British Energy Bill to introduce a specific priority for Great British Energy to reduce the average household bill by £300 in real terms by the 1st of January 2030. MPs even voted, 361 to 124, a majority of 237 to reject that Conservative amendment. But they're not even done there. Listen to this. MPs even voted 361 to 115, a majority of 246, to reject a Conservative bid to mandate a strategic priority for Great British Energy to create 650,000 new jobs throughout the country by 2030. This is just absolutely disgraceful, isn't it? Labour seem to be doing their very best, don't they, to batter the working people, rather than, of course, creating new jobs and sticking to the targets they kept spouting off about to get elected. But it wasn't just Labour. Lib Dem apparently did not support the Conservative amendment either. And for an opposition party not to support that amendment to help the working people is just absolutely disgraceful in my opinion. The Tories said that this shows they cannot be relied on to provide any opposition to Labour. And Energy Minister Michael Shanks said that the Great British Energy should be accountable, transparent and open in all of its designs and how it is delivering a return on investment. And that's why we have made provisions for the bill to ensure that regular updates are given in the form of annual reports and accounts which will be laid bare for Parliament for all its members to review, and of course, company which will undergo external audit in the usual manner. Well, I'm sorry, but that is not good enough. They should, if they thought they could do it, have agreed to that amendment. But just what have Great British Energy said themselves? Let's get it direct from the horse's mouth. And GB Energy Chairman Jürgen Meyer, hope we pronounced that right, speaking during the Bill Committee stage earlier this month, was asked when he expected GB Energy to bring down the energy bills. He said the only way to get their energy bills down and to get greater energy security is to get more renewable energy on the grid. Oh, here we go. Another net zero argument, it seems. But let's face it, they're more than likely wanting to put more wind farms up or solar, or I don't know, at this rate, maybe they think manure might be the next thing to produce net zero green energy. Although to get that, all you got to do is listen to Keir Starmer speak, because quite a lot of it does seem to come out of his mouth, doesn't it? Anyway, The exact mechanism by which this happens is, of course, a matter of policy and how you decide to bring those bills to the consumer. This is not a scope for Great British Energy. It is not a scope for the bill either. So basically he's saying, that's not my problem, Governor, which is a bit of a problem, isn't it? Because it's more than likely going to be left in Labour's hands, and we'll see what they seem to be doing to the country, which, unfortunately, at the current time, we have got about 5 years or so of them remaining, eh? Oh, great.